Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for Truth show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard, you don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart, yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, and it's a pleasure to have you back with us again today. Today's segment is going to be something you're going to find very interesting, because we're going to deal with how to deal with the stresses of life from someone who's an actor, and God knows that there's lots of stresses when you're acting and making shows and programs. And so, Buddha, if we can, please, let's bring up on the screen some pictures and images of our guest tonight, Oscar Zambrano. Oscar is originally from Ecuador, and he's a New York-based actor with a working background at Fregal Theater, Coqui Theater, Teatro Tempo, and Bohemia en Más con Magalis. He also has experience in spiritual stress counseling, organizational administration, construction, movie set building, an assistant production manager, and technical production assistant. Oscar's prolific career as an actor includes 10 awards. Amongst them, he received the ATI Award 2014 as Best New Star, the LATA Award of 2022 as the Best Characterization, and amongst many others. Mr. Zamora is also a strong humanitarian and spent a significant portion of his life helping his community and others around him. And there you see him in one of his other roles, and there in another. And Buddha, if you can, let's bring up Oscar Zambrano live with us and bid him a warm welcome to A Time for Truth show. Welcome, Oscar.
Thank you, Doctor.
It's a pleasure to have you. And you know, I was in your country and I visited the beautiful volcano Cotopaxi, and it's amazing land that you're from. And I wanted to ask you, when you were young and you lived in Ecuador, what were your dreams?
Well, first of all, thank you very much again, Dr. Berna, for bringing me here to your show, and to have the great audience that I'm sure they enjoy every one of your shows. Well, as a youngster in Ecuador, a very popular thing it's to play soccer, which I did it for a while until my age of till I was 17. Then, well, unfortunately, as things in life turned on a little bit for me, and I had to start working to support my family, as many other youngsters in South America and many parts of the world. They have to make that decision, a point in life, you know, that where you have to start helping family. It's a matter of survival. So, and then my career as a soccer player got to stop there because it's very competitive, it's very tough, and if you have other things that are more important in life that you got to take care of, then you have to make a sacrifice.
Very, very true. Sometimes life has a funny way of how it kind of like turns your head, and it makes you look at certain things. I totally understand. How, so then you come to the United States. How was your transition and how did you find this transition to the U.S.?
Well, actually, we gotta go back a little bit. Also, my youngster years. I started actually. My sister, she found out about Dianetics. She went to a seminar, and when she went to the first seminar. She liked it and she enjoyed it. And the director or executive, she hired her to be a staff member, part-time staff, part-time student. uh, like a year after that, she started working for the mission. uh, I went one day to help them out. I was just, have free time to do on weekends. I came over to help them out with things in the mission, and then the ED, she asked me if I would like to be part of it on weekends, come over and help people, study the technology. I was like, sure, yeah, why not? I always like to help, so I guess that's how I started. In this adventure with his Dianetics and Scientology. I started with
Interesting. So
very basic courses.
let me ask you a question for the viewers. What is Dianetics, and what is that? What does it mean?
Well, to me, Dianetics is a science. It's a science. It's something that you can learn. It's a technology that you can learn, and you can put it in practice and help other people. I find it very, very good tool to help others and make them think better, make your life change at some point, that you get barriers that you didn't know exist, you throw them out, you break them, you go through them, and it's 100% improving life. My life changed many times. After I did my first seminar, I did while I was working in the mission for 2 years and a half. I did communication courses. I did seminar Dianetics. I did ups and downs in life, like many other basic study courses, like manuals, basic study, learn to learn, how to use a dictionary. And it's interesting, like learning these things that are very simple, and sometimes things that you think you know it, but when you read it on a book and you follow steps, it helps you to understand better how things are, not just in regular life, it is in the universe, in a global. Dianetics changed my life because after the seminars, I gotta say, I used to have headaches, and I don't know what is a headache until now. I guess that's one of my biggest wins after doing the Dianetics. I don't know what is a headache. I always hear people saying, "Oh, I have migraines, I have a headache, or this and that." I don't know what it is, a headache, since that time.
Very
Well,
interesting.
then, yeah, then after working for the mission, my sister, she joined the CO organization, which is one of the highest organizations where they deliver more courses, more studies, more advanced stuff for anyone to learn. And I got my first time coming to the States. I was working as a for the organization as a volunteer to help in the work also, since I had already experience working in the mission.
Interesting. So basically, what you're saying in the organization, which is also called a mission, there were courses that you took which helped you with your life. Is that what happened?
Yeah, totally, definitely. I don't think that my life would have the same turnout as it is right now. I would love to share this. Before, in high school, I was one of the worst students. I I repeated my English test. I would fail to my test in high school. But when I learned the techniques of basic studies, it helped me out a lot, like to understand things that I would not understand. I didn't know why. I would read a book or read a page, and after 5 minutes, I would forget everything. That was in some way frustrating, and will keep me away from learning. But when I did those basic courses, helped me out to find out why that happens, what the barriers are on the study.
Interesting. So you found that it helped you with your studies and with actually moving forward in life with education.
Yes, totally, definitely. After learning the techniques, it helped me out when I came to the States to stay, to learn and improve my English. Like right now, on my free time, I do my French classes. I'm trying to learn French because I like it. So it helped me out a lot. I mean, it's a very important tool, not just to learn any science or study, anything that you read, anything that you want to read and you want to understand it. If you learn the basic tools of a study in Scientology, you will be able to understand many things.
Very interesting. And so then what happened? Like, so here you were doing soccer and then you started doing this work, spiritually and with Dianetics and whatever. And how did you then start your career in acting?
Well, it's one of the things I learned in Scientology was that the necessity of level will make a person to improve, to learn also. So when I arrived to New York, especially I started living with one of my brothers. Everyone in the house, in the apartment, was speaking Spanish. In Queens, everybody speaks Spanish, so you don't really need English. And also on the construction work that I was doing, I didn't need to use the English, but my English was very limited at that time. So I said, you know what, I want to learn more English. I want to improve my English. So what I got into my head was, why not to take acting classes in English? And one day I saw in the newspaper these classes on HBS Studio, which is a very good school. I went for the classes because I wanted to meet more people that will speak English. I knew that would push me to use more the English. And that's exactly what happened. So when I started going to the classes, I started making more friends that will make me speak English, would make me use the words that I was not using all the time. So the English became more and more necessary for me to use it. And then I fall in love with acting. Acting I enjoy it so much. It's stressful, but it's a stress that I enjoy. How can I say? It's adrenaline. The adrenaline before you get on the stage. The public is there. They're going to watch you. And then the adrenaline builds inside of you. And, I like that. I enjoy it. Whether I'm acting or whether I'm building a set, whether I'm doing anything on a play, I really fully enjoy it. And so, yeah, that's how I got into acting. I met this girl, Diana Saldana, who is actually Soy Saldana's cousin. She brought me into the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. I met Miriam Colon del Valle, which a lot of people will know her. She was the actress that played Tony Montana's mother. Right now she passed away a couple years ago. But that lady was the owner and the founder of Puerto Rican Traveling Theater. And I worked for her. I met her. I had the good privilege to work with very high standard acting people in the industry here in New York. I met my theatrical father, Ricardo J. Salazar. He brought me to the first play in theater, and then I started meeting all these people, Franco Galesio, Raul Rivera, America Barrera, who also, I'm sorry, passed away, but she was like my grandmother in acting. She helped me out a lot. And ever since then, this past 10 years, I've been doing theater in different places in the tri-state area, and I love it. I enjoy it. And this acting is my how can I say, my therapy for any stress that I may have in the other jobs.
Amazing. So, and you know what? For the viewers who are watching, there are people out there who want to improve on something in their job and their profession. So, what advice would you give them based on what you've learned with your utilization of what you did here?
Well, I would totally advise it that take your time one day, go to any organization, Scientology organization, and just go and ask questions and ask for information. They will give it to you. They will tell you answer any questions that you may have. I would say do the first test, the personality test, the IQ test. They will tell you exactly what you need, how they can help you. But, take the time, be open-minded, say to yourself, you know what, let me learn this new technology, let me learn this science, because Scientology is more like a science than a religion, okay? One of the things that I love more in Scientology is that you are free to have your own religion. You could be Catholic, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Jehovah's Witness, and you can still learn Scientology and just apply it to your life and make those positive changes and still having your religion. It's got nothing to do with who or what you want to believe. It's about learning a technology that will help you change your mind, your life, I would say.
Very, very interesting. The thing I like about what you're saying is that you stay who you are, and it's kind of like getting a cell phone. If I get a Samsung or I get an iPhone, I'm still me. I don't change, but I have a better capacity to communicate. So I like that, what you're saying about that, because, I don't like having to change who I am. I just want to get better. So what you're saying is this would help the person to handle the barriers that they're having in their job?
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of people, at the beginning, is afraid to discover things. Human nature, we have the tendency to believe that if it's not hard or difficult, it's not right. And that's not the case. With Scientology, you will learn why things sometimes seems to be difficult. But in Scientology, they will give you the tools to handle these barriers, to help you out, how you can make better decisions, better choices in life. I don't think I would have made the same choices if I didn't learn Scientology. I don't think so. Probably I would be in my country, in the army, probably retire with 2, 3, 4 wives, 12 kids, or somewhere spread all over the place, because that was one of my first choices when I was very young. I wanted to join the army in my country, but through life and learning Scientology helped me out to reflect about that. War is a horrible thing, and trust me, I would not recommend it to anybody to go through that. So I totally recommend people open your mind, take your time, learn about it, and trust me, you're gonna enjoy this journey about Scientology. You're gonna learn. It's not about Scientology. I would say it's about life, the meaning of life. Be able to see life from another point of view, from what is being portrayed many of the times in social media or by news. Scientology it's just amazing the way it changed you.
Interesting. So what you're saying is that what it really did for you is that it gave you answers to life and how to improve your life.
Right, yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what we all want. We are looking, or we are searching for a way to be even in the better place, have a better house, have a better way to transport, have an improvement. If you have kids, you want the best for your kids. You want the best choices for them to make, so that's how it is. That's how Scientology work. I mean, it helped me out to make better choices, to analyze it before I do something that probably could cost me my entire life.
Very interesting. With the point of view that you have, what are some things that you're seeing in our world right now that you think need to change and it could be changed?
I will say it's education. Education is a very important thing, especially young kids. I don't know, but I follow this guy. His name is Pascal. He's from Nigeria. He's a humanitarian, and he's teaching the way of happiness handbook, how to make better choices to for children's. And children are very important to teach them these tools, basic tools, about be honest, about do the right thing, and I think education, it will be something very important that right now society have to take care of and focus on to have a better future. We need to put on the side the personal interest of a corporation or anything like that that is not really caring about our future. Kids are the future, and adults that can see that, they have to also learn how they can help this new future to be better.
It's so true, because in the world, we have a lot of advances, but what you constantly get bombarded by is how to market to make more money, how to promote so you can get more clients, or how you can sell more of your product. And you're so right that, when you look at wealth, you really think about it, wealth is really our future. Because without a future, what does anything mean? It's just like a brick. You can have a lot of bricks, but what are the bricks going to do for you? So you're right that by concentrating more on our youth and the future of the world, and education, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, because it'd be nice to see a lot of ads about education and improving the conditions in our world. I totally agree with you. I'm curious, because I see you do some humanitarian work. What is it that inspires you to do that? Because so many people say, I get home, I'm exhausted, I don't have any time, I go to sleep, or I just want to relax, or I want to get away from it all. What inspires you to do your humanitarian work for the community?
Well, I don't know. It's every day that I see, or that I wake up and I walk on the street. As an actor, you have to observe a lot. I do observe a lot. Observe people walking by, passerbys, women, men. I see people homeless, people smoking marijuana, with a vision lost. All that makes me think, where we going. So that helps me. That's my motto, to keep doing something positive, to help in one way or another. Whenever somebody needs help, and hey, Oscar, can we do this? Can we spread some, flyers for this program, or can you help us out with it? Oh, sure, I have the time, no problem. Let's do it. That's what motivates me to keep fighting. It's like being in war in a combat zone, but your combat zone is your society around you. Do something, a little grain that you do will make a difference. Whether it's making a donation to a non-profit organization that is helping people, like, for example, we have Narconom, you have I Help, Criminal, all these organizations, they're working in pro, helping people that are on bad shape, that doing bad stuff. So why not to help? A little thing, a little grain. Organizations that care about the mother nature, about animals, about protecting others, all that motivates me to keep doing it. What's the point to be, I always think of this, what's the point to be rich, wealthy, have so many cars, so many houses, have probably $100 million in your bank account, you're enjoying life, but there's millions of people suffering, What's the point of being a super movie star if you can't use that to help others? You end up living a greedy life, alone, because that's what happens, lonely. And when we all die, we don't take nothing, especially. We are spiritual living things, experiencing a human experience. That's how I see it. That's how I feel. You know, eventually one day I'm gonna be gone. And the day that I be gone, I want to go in peace, knowing that I try my best to do a better and make a difference.
You know, it makes sense what you're saying, and it reminds me of a movie that I watched. It's been a few years now, called Schindler's List, and it was about World War II. And Schindler was a German who was trying to save Jewish people from getting killed. So he started a business, and the movie is about him running this business. And really, what he's trying to do is to try and save the Jewish people from being persecuted and killed. And at the end of the movie, when World War II ends, he's there and everyone is now free. And he looks at his ring, like you said about wealth. And he looked at this ring that he had that was, that was given to him by all his workers. And he looks at the ring that they gave him, and he's looking at it. And he says, I could have done more. Who needed all these material possessions, right? I could have saved more lives, and I could have done more for my world. And it's what you're saying, Oscar, that, what you see is like, we can have a good life, but if we're not helping other people, what kind of future are we leaving our families and our kids, right?
Totally, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes, that's how it is.
Well, we're reaching the end of the show, and I wanted to ask you, as a concluding statement, what would you like to leave the viewers watching this show from Oscar Zamora?
Well, know that there is hope for the world to change and be better. And we only as individually, we can make that change if we make the choice. Like here right now, if you're watching me, you don't know nothing about what is Scientology, you may be scared or you have your doubts. I would say put your doubts on the side, take your time, go to an organization and answer questions. They will answer to you. They will answer every question that you may have. And just give yourself a chance to see a better life, to see a future with a best planet, a very human beings that can be better. We can be better. The future can be changing, can be better, it can be bright. So just take your time, go to an organization, and take the first step.
Well, very good. You know what? And I think that way, from everything you said you've encountered and the way it changed your life, if we can make the world a better place, I think it's a wonderful thing. So I wanted to thank you for taking the time for being on the show.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share about my personal experience, my life. And I keep enjoying life. I keep working. I keep trying my best. And if whenever you need help, you can reach me out.
Well, thank you, Oscar. Keep going.
Thank you, Dr. Bernard. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Much good fortune with your acting career. I know we're going to turn on some shows in a year or so, and we'll see you on television. I can see from all those pictures at the beginning. I love how you can take on those different roles. And thank you again. And for those of you watching, as Oscar Zamora has said, let's take a look. What is wealth really? And when you look at it, the wealth is our youth, our families, our community. Let's create a good community. Let's create happy, well families. Until the next time, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of A Time for Truth show.
Thank you.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where let it go, everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet